What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, legendary promoter, top-ranked CEO and promoter, Bob Arum, he weighs in on his former fighter, undefeated 3-division world champion, former junior welterweight, undisputed world champion, currently the reigning WBO welterweight world champion, who is widely considered by many to be the #1 best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, and Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford is 38 wins, no losses, no draw, 29 big wins by way of knockout. He is 34 years of age, 5'8" with a 74-inch arm reach. With that said, Bob Arum, he weighs in on Terence Crawford parting ways with Top Rank, ESPN, and Bob Arum, okay? And Bob Arum, he states that, obviously we know that Terence Crawford is taking Bob Arum to court, okay? And he's stating that Bob Arum cannot secure the fights that he wants to have secured, okay? Mainly the fight between himself and undefeated, unified, 3-belt, unified welterweight world champion, superstar boxer, who is widely considered by many now to be top 2 best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, and ERROL the True Spence Jr. ERROL Spence Jr. is 28 wins, no losses, no draw, 22 big wins by way of knockout. He is 5'9.5" with a 72-inch arm reach. With that said, ERROL Spence, okay, and Terence Crawford make for the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. Okay, Terence Crawford is taking Top Rank and ESPN to court because he's citing that they never secured the fight that he wanted secured, which is the ERROL Spence fight, okay? In his last fight, when he took on 2-time welterweight world champion, superstar boxer, Showtime Sean Porter, Terence Crawford, after the fight, he stopped Sean Porter in the 10th round of the fight. And after the fight, in his post-fight press conference, Terence Crawford, he stated that Bob Arum couldn't secure the fight with ERROL Spence when he was with him. He's not going to be able to secure the fight with ERROL Spence when he's not with him. Alleging that he's parting ways from Top Rank, ESPN, and Bob Arum, okay? And then he stated that, you know, that it wasn't ERROL Spence's fault. This makes for the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. So Terence Crawford, he stated it wasn't ERROL Spence's fault. It wasn't his fault. It was the politics behind the scenes that prevented us from getting ERROL Spence versus Terence Crawford fight, okay? And so now he's stating that, you know, it's not either one of their fault, okay? It's the fault of the people behind the scenes. And we know, since he's parted ways with them and now he's taking them to court, obviously he feels like it's Top Rank and ESPN's fault as to why this fight has not come to fruition, okay? So Bob Arum did an interview, and he pointed back to this interview he did, in which he stated that Terence Crawford wasn't concerned with securing a fight with a particular fighter, okay? That Terence Crawford was concerned with the bag, the biggest amount of money he can secure, okay? And he stated that, this is what Bob Arum stated, that represented Josh Taylor in the UK for them, okay? According to Top Rank and Bob Arum, they believe that the biggest bag that Terence Crawford could get and secure would be against Josh Taylor in the UK, okay? So, not ERROL Spence Jr., which, okay, the UK supports their fans. They come out in drones. We know this. The UK supports their fans more than any other fan base, in my opinion, in the sport of boxing, okay? And so with that said, Bob Arum is stating that the money would be in the Josh Taylor fight in the UK. But ERROL Spence and Terence Crawford make for the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. But Bob Arum, he says, Terence Crawford is just like any other fighter looking to secure the biggest paycheck he could possibly secure, opposed to securing the biggest fight and legacy he can secure. Okay? So what he said was that Terence Crawford never came to him and expressed that he needed to have this fight with ERROL Spence or a particular fighter. He was more concerned with securing the biggest paycheck he could secure, okay? And Top Rank believed that biggest paycheck represented Josh Taylor in the UK, okay? Not Errol Spence in the States, okay? So he stated that, they all wanted to make the Josh Taylor fight because that's the biggest fight and the biggest paycheck they can make for Terence Crawford. They're banking on the support of the UK fan base, okay? Supporting the fight, which is unfortunate because, once again, it's a testament to say that the fans in the States, particularly the African-American fan base, don't support their fighters, right? Because Terence Crawford, Errol Spence makes for the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. But if you don't believe that Terence Crawford and Errol Spence can outsell and outdo Josh Taylor versus Terence Crawford in the UK, then maybe Terence Crawford is right. But then maybe Bob Arum is right, okay? So Terence Crawford, we know he's on record saying that he feel like the PBC, Premier Boxing Champions, founder and advisor Al Heyman, and the fighters on that side were not eager to get in the ring with him. He reiterated this in his interview he did with Showtime Sean Porter on two-time welterweight champion that he has a mutual opponent, him and Errol Spence, with is Sean Porter and Kell Brook. And he stated that there wasn't no side of the street talk until he came on the scene. Once he came on the scene and started to make his presence felt, that's when all of the side of the street talk became a factor, okay? Which is, we know, is not true because the side of the street talk has always been in the sport of boxing, okay? You could go most recently to the biggest fight in the history of the sport of boxing between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. There was sides of the street talk with that fight, okay? Because Manny Pacquiao was with Top Ranking Bob Arum and Floyd Mayweather was with the PBC. Okay, so you look at that fight and there was sides of the street talk when it came down to that fight. Okay, so with that said, there's always been sides of the street talk. Okay, and when it came down to Terence Crawford wanting to make these fights, he backed Bob Arum. He stated that he don't blame Bob Arum. He knows Bob Arum was looking to make these fights, the biggest fights. Well, Bob Arum is saying Terence Crawford never came to him and stated that he was looking to make the biggest fights. He was just looking to get the biggest paycheck, okay? Like any other fighter. This is what Bob Arum had to say, okay? And so in a recent interview, Bob Arum, he stated that the whole court case with Terence Crawford and himself in Top Rank is all bogus. Essentially is what Bob Arum's saying. He's saying it's all bogus. He's saying that, it has no merit and that, he could prove it. And so he's going back to this interview he did with Seconds Out, right? And in which he stated that Terence Crawford never asked to secure these big fights, okay? He just simply, was looking to secure the biggest paycheck he could possibly secure, which is unfortunate if it holds to be true, right? Because the fans pay for the lifestyle that the fighters live, ultimately, okay? Without the fan base, you don't have the lifestyle that you live, the comfort that you have, the freedom that you have, ultimately, okay? Because of the fan base, they secure you that lifestyle, that freedom, and the fans want to see the best fight the best. So if in this case, we know Bob Arum has been on record and he stated on record that he feels like Terence Crawford, is difficult to negotiate with, do business with. This is what Bob Arum stated. He stated that Terence Crawford is difficult to do business with, difficult to negotiate with, and he doesn't want to take part in promoting the fights and things of that nature. He just wants to fight. But Bob Arum, he stated that I've been around this business for far too long, and that's just not how it works, okay? So let's just listen to what Bob Arum had to say regarding Terence Crawford not wanting to make, not being eager to make these big fights and being eager to just simply get the big paychecks.
fights to sign a deal going forward?
I don't think it's unified title. I mean, Terence, like everybody other fighter, looks at the green, the dollars, and maybe a Josh Taylor fight is more lucrative than a Spence fight, considering that if the fight was in the UK, we would absolutely put 70,000 people into a big outdoor stadium this spring. So there's a lot of moving parts there. Now, the Spence fight would do, I think, a very big number. Al and I will sit down and talk about it.
Has Crawford, though,
So you see what he said, that the Josh Taylor. So essentially, Top Rank viewed Josh Taylor fight for Terence Crawford. They always have as a more lucrative fight, and Terence Crawford, like every other fighter, he stated, is looking to secure the bag over legacy, right? So essentially, Bob Arum is saying, and it don't boil down to Terence Crawford. He's not different than everybody else. He wants to secure the bag just like everybody else, okay? He's not different from everybody else. Listen.
Express the need to put something like that in the deal to sign going forward? What has he asked you for?
Nothing.
So now he's being asked, is this, do you have to put something in the contract to get Terence Crawford to come back to Top Rank? And Bob Arum is saying that Terence Crawford asked for nothing.
It's what Terence is in the position where he can wait and see what we're offering him.
I'm pretty sure.
So you heard Bob Arum. He stated Terence Crawford is just like every other fighter. He's worrying about the green, not about the legacy. So he's not exempt. He's not concerned with the legacy. He's concerned with the bag. This is what Bob Arum had to say.
Nothing. It's what
has Crawford, though, expressed the need to put some,
I think, a very big number spring. So there's a lot of moving parts there. Now, the Spence fight would do, I think, a very big number. Considering that if the fight was in the UK, we would absolutely put 70,000 people into a big outdoor stadium this spring.
So essentially what Bob Arum is saying, that they were concerned with trying to secure a fight with Josh Taylor for Terence Crawford because they can guarantee their money back, and they could guarantee the big money that Terence Crawford is essentially looking for, to make these big fights happen. And Terence Crawford is just like any other fighter. He's looking to secure the biggest bag that he possibly can. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out moving forward. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.